U.S. President Donald Trump kicks off Middle East tour.
Vietnam and Belarus establish strategic partnership.
Attracting international tourists to Nghệ An.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yên and let's get started. The U.S. President Donald Trump has departed for his trip to the Middle East, his first major trip overseas during his second time in office, with a focus on negotiations regarding the Gaza conflict, tensions with Iran, and promoting large-scale economic deals.
The three-day trip will include stops in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. President Trump raised the possibility of flying to Turkey to join talks between Russia and Ukraine if there was a chance of progress. Mr. Trump is scheduled to arrive in Riyadh on May 13 to attend the Gulf Summit and the U.S.-Saudi Arabia Investment Forum. Qatar, a key mediator in the Gaza negotiations, will host Mr. Trump on the evening of May 14 local time. The U.S. President will hold talks with King Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani on security cooperation. The situation in Syria and Doha's crucial role in hostage negotiations and a ceasefire. The final stop of the tour will be in Abu Dhabi on May 15, focusing on technology and investment.
The Vietnamese Party General Secretary Tô Lâm and the President Alexander Lukashenko have signed a joint statement on the establishment of the strategic partnership between Vietnam and Belarus. The signing took place shortly after their talks in Minsk on May 12 as part of the Party General Secretary Tô Lâm two-day state visit to Belarus.
During the talks, President Lukashenko emphasized the long-standing friendship between Belarus and Vietnam, forged through decades of cooperation during national liberation struggles and mutual development. That should be cherished, preserved and strengthened for future generations. For his part, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm congratulated President Lukashenko on his re-election in January 2025 and expressed confidence that Belarus would continue to achieve socio-economic progress and strengthen its international position. After the talks, the two leaders witnessed the signing and exchange of cooperation documents in the fields of expert training, digital transformation, science, technology and innovation, culture, judiciary, pharmaceuticals, radio broadcasting, and people-to-people exchanges.
At 9 a.m. local time on May 13th at the Government House in Canberra, under the auspices of Governor General Sam Mostyn, Mr. Anthony Albanese was sworn in for his second time as the Prime Minister of Australia, following his surrounding victory in the federal election on May 3rd.
After Mr. Anthony Albanese was sworn in, the remaining members of the cabinet also took turns swearing in before the Governor-General. According to the plan, the new cabinet will soon hold its first plenary session and on May 14. Prime Minister Albanese will officially visit Indonesia, marking his first foreign trip right after starting his second term. This is a sign that Australia values Indonesia's central role in regional policy. On the same day, the Liberal Party held a meeting to elect a new leader. Ms. Susan Ley won 29 votes, defeating her opponent Angus Taylor, who only received 25 votes, to become the first female leader of the party. The second leadership position in the party belongs to Mr. Ted O'Brien.
Coming up are some updated news.
The Department of Overseas Labor Management, Ministry of the Interior, has just issued a recommendation on advertising the recruitment of workers to work in Israel. According to the Department of Overseas Labor Management, recently, on a number of social networking sites such as TikTok, Facebook, Zalo, there has been a lot of information related to advertising and recruiting workers to work in Israel. In many industries, the Department of Overseas Labor Management affirmed that currently, the Ministry of Interior has no policy allowing the selection and sending of workers to work in Israel in all fields and professions, and has not approved any service business to select and send workers to work in the Israeli market.
On May 12 evening, a film week commemorating the 135th birth anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh, May 19, 1890 to 2025, opened in Vinh City, Nghệ An, opening a series of unique cultural and artistic activities within the framework of the 2025 Lotus Village Festival. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Tran T. Mai Han, director of the Provincial Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, emphasized that this is an important occasion to educate the tradition of patriotism, arouse the ideal of a beautiful life in the young generation, and affirm the pioneering role of cinema in propagating and promoting Ho Chi Minh's cultural values in modern life. Film Week runs from May 12 to 15.
According to the Ministry of Education and Training, all 4 Vietnamese students competing in the 59th Mendeleev International Chemistry Olympiad have won medals, including 2 golds and 2 silvers. The 2 gold medalists are Tran Trung Kien, a 12th grader from the Hanoi Amsterdam High School for the Gifted, who scored 169.25 points, and Nguyen Go Duc, a 12th grader from the Phan Boi Chau High School for the Gifted in Nghệ An Province, who scored 151.05 points. The 59th edition of the Mendeleev Olympiad took place in Belo Horizonte, Brazil, from May 5 to 12. The Mendeleev International Chemistry Olympiad is regarded as one of the world's most prestigious and challenging competitions in chemistry for high school students.
Known as a region with rich tourism potential thanks to its beaches, forests, and historical cultural relics, Nghệ An possesses all necessary conditions to develop tourism, especially attracting international visitors. However, the number of foreign tourists visiting Nghệ An remains quite limited. More in the story.
Once expected to be a destination attracting international tourists to western Nghệ An, Pha Lai eco-tourism area is now being wasted. There are many reasons why foreign tourists find it difficult to visit tourist destinations like this. Many roads to tourist attractions have deteriorated. In addition, as tourist demand increases, poor quality tourist attractions with no highlights have spontaneously emerged. Despite its significant potential, the number of international tourists visiting Nghệ An remains modest, accounting for just over 1% of the total annual visitors. According to the Nghệ An Department of Tourism, the entire province welcomed over 9 million visitors in 2024. But only about 120,000 were international arrivals.
To attract tourists to Nghệ An, it is necessary to improve procedures and licenses for foreign tourists and offer suitable tourism products.
It can be seen that, to attract international tourists, Nghệ An needs to outline solutions to remove regulations and administrative procedures and invest heavily in infrastructure. Develop unique products associated with the community and cultural tourism.
In the near future, the department will collaborate with relevant sectors such as the police and border guards to advise the Provincial People's Committee on shortening the licensing time for foreigners and exploit tourism potentials.
Tourism is not only a key economic sector, but also a cultural bridge. When the bottlenecks are removed, Nghệ An can become an attractive destination for international tourists.
The last story just ended our program today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.